Call the Common Council meeting to order for May the 5th. We'll have an invocation and pledge. Bobby, would you be so kind? We've missed you the last few meetings, sir.
It's nice to be missed.
Yes, it is.
Nice to be missed. Gracious God, we thank you for this day. God, we thank you, God, how you continue to bless us and keep us. God, we want to take this time to thank you, God, for blessing our community with a man like John Worley. We thank you, God, for his contribution, how he loved this community, how he didn't think it was a sacrifice in his life, didn't think it was anything wrong with letting everybody know and to give back to this community the way he has. So we pray for his family, pray for their strength, pray for them, and pray for our community that will continue to do the things, use the things that he's blessed us with to the betterment of our community. Continue to bless our council, bless all the persons present, bless their families, continue to give them the strength that they need to do the job they need to do. Bless all of our staff, bless our mayor, bless our state officials, all of our country officials, bless our president. And bless us all as we continue to try to do things that are pleasing in our sight. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Looks like we should do our meetings more often at 1 o'clock on every other Monday. We get good attendance.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, me too. All right, can we have a roll call, please?
If I may.
Councilperson Smith.
Present.
Councilperson Zastavny.
Present.
Councilperson Payne.
Here.
Councilperson Sellers.
Here.
Council Vice President Gill.
Here.
Council President Julius.
Here.
Councilperson Glover.
Here.
Councilperson Owen.
Here.
Councilperson Samuel.
Here.
Let the record reflect all councilpersons present.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Mr. Merkley told me that we did not have the interlocal agreement with the county, so we can take new business 1 off.
And also B1 as well. So wait for the county council to approve the animal shelter agreement.
Yeah, interlocal agreement.
You just want those tabled, correct?
Just take it.
Right, so we do the first one and unfinished business.
Yeah, so both A1 and B1?
A1 and B1.
If there are no other changes, make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Claims?
Minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Minutes to be approved.
Did you get your questions answered?
If there are no changes, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April the 21st.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Now we'll go to claims.
It's my understanding we have one hand-carried claim that,
Yes. I have a hand-carried claim from Joe Little from City Court Probation. Everything's in order. Claim is legal. It's for $454.86. So I'm going to add that to the claims list, please.
so I'm requesting approval of $837,728.04.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion?
I will just add that the hand-carry claim was mentioned to us or sent well in advance, and so we were aware that it was coming, so I'll support it.
Any other? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Report of the clerk.
I have one quick thing. If you all will look at 3 under old business, under A, because first you have the public hearing and then passing. It says here passed on first and second reading. It was just passed on first reading.
Okay.
It was an error that I made. That's it.
Okay. Did we have any department heads
No,
to speak?
none that contacted us.
Okay. Ms. Calabro, is Kim here?
Morgana's going to do it for him.
There's no changes since the last two readings, or the last time it was read and was passed.
There are no changes, to make a motion to approve on the third and final reading.
Second. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Man, that was easy. All right, Amy, ordinance of additional appropriations.
Yeah, this passed on the first reading at the last meeting, and I'm asking for adoption today. It is advertised for a public hearing.
Do you have a copy?
I do.
Okay.
We
For the
need
5th,
to-
for the 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'll need a copy.
We need to open a public hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing is open. Is anybody here to speak for or against? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Motion to approve 2014 OR 20.
On the second and third.
Yes.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Thank you. Going to new business, we got Kelly. Are you? Resolution approving statement of benefits for proposed real property and personal property tax abatement, Mill Steel.
Thanks. Actually, it's Rob. They had Kelly down, but
Well, because Kelly gave them to us and didn't say you were going to present.
it works out just fine. Hey, Mill Steel, they're looking to come to the Port of Indiana, and they're actually looking to go in at the building that's vacant now, Beth Nova. It's a very exciting company that's coming into town, and I'd like to introduce Matt Hall with 1 Southern Indiana.
Thank you all. We're here to request your support for this project that we're excited about. As Rob mentioned, Mill Steel, which is headquartered in Grand Rapids, Michigan, is looking to put in a flat roll steeling service center at the Nova 2 building, which is currently vacant. So for us, this hits a lot of points in terms of new job creation. There will be about 43 new positions created at this operation that pay well above the county average wage. They're looking to invest about $16.1 million in that facility, expanding that footprint to about 230,000 square feet. So for us, it's a win-win, because we're taking a non-producing job, a building that's not producing jobs, and actually creating jobs in that facility, and also increasing the tax benefits there. We have Eric Lambert with Mill Steel is here, and I was worried they weren't going to make it here. He called me early this morning, and they had traffic coming down, so I'm glad that they were able to make it. So I will let Eric speak about the project.
Thank you, appreciate it. Good afternoon, everybody. Again, Mill Steel is a company that's headquartered in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Today we have 3 plant locations. One's in Birmingham, Alabama, the other one in Detroit, Michigan, and our headquarters and plant location in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm joined by Rob Vella, who is a partner in Mill Steel, as well as the Vice President of Operations. I too am a partner, and we have 3 other equity partners who make up the company. As Matt said, we have decided to purchase the Nova 2 property, which is about 105,000 square feet, and we've entered into various transactions with other contractors to expand that footprint to approximately 230,000 square feet. The total investment being made is probably going to be just south of actually $17 million, because there's some additional CapEx on equipment that we're bringing in, adding to its capabilities for both cut to length as well as slitting. Today, the company slits steel. We do not do anything other than just simply processing. The vast majority of our volume is targeted toward the automotive trade. About 60% of our business is automotive, and the rest is targeted toward the construction and tubing markets. The Jeffersonville footprint will be the biggest plant location of Mill Steel's overall, and we're very excited about the opportunity to not only be located in this area, but also to take advantage of all the opportunities available to us at the port. So again, as Matt indicated, we have subscribed for some additional concessions and abatements on taxes, and we certainly appreciate it, and welcome any questions that the commission has of both Rob and myself.
The other unique thing that Eric just probably glanced over, We're currently doing business with people that are in the port area. We're just trying to expand upon that. We're a customer of SDI's. We're buying paint and steel out of that particular site, along with the Boss Clark location. So we're pickling steel today. We only plan on not only the jobs that we're going to create locally for Mill Steel, but it's going to expand upon other opportunities for businesses in the port area, along with Eagle Steel or Metals USA.
It's an outstanding point. Thanks, Rob.
I think Rob just answered my question. I was going to ask you how you determined Jeffersonville to be the location for this investment. I guess it's because you already have relationships with some other customers here?
We
Or?
do. We have several customers that are in this geography and this footprint already. It's oddly enough equidistant by about 5 miles between our Birmingham location and our Detroit location. So for our business to continue its growth in this geography, we've been looking hard at different locations, both throughout Ohio as well as Indiana. And when the Nova 2 property became available, David Davis, who's our broker on the project, presented us the opportunity to locate here. And since then, we've elected to expand it. We have got 60,000 square feet of space over in Louisville, Kentucky, that we distribute our pre-painted material out of. So at some point, that is going to wind down, and we're going to wind up the inventory and basically also distribute pre-painted steel out of this Jeffersonville property as well. So again, everything's going to be concentrated and consolidated in this area, but we do have a base of customers in this marketplace that we want to support well.
We love the opportunity of the river as well. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
no
it
doubt.
serves, logistics is continuing to, hamper profitability, and getting more creative and expanding our footprint and being able to bring in barge through the river. And also, one of the projects is to expand the current rail into the site, so we'll be bringing in barge and rail along with truck.
You say 43 new positions?
Correct.
And what type of positions are those? Those usually labor, or is it labor management?
It's going to be a combination of both, but majority is definitely labor,
Plant labor, production.
plant labor, yeah.
Yep. We will have certain management members and commercial members here as part of that group, but the vast majority of the talent pool will be production members.
And Brian, if you take that additional payroll number divided by those employees, it's upwards of $24 an hour.
Okay, thank you. You knew where I was going.
I think we're all excited when we hear about people like Mill Steel coming to Jeffersonville. I think we're all going to be happy to support you in your endeavor. We appreciate your investment.
We appreciate it. It is no question the company's largest investment on a fixed basis to date. Our lenders, our other stakeholders, our supplier partners, our customers are extremely excited about the same. So we think Jeffersonville is going to be a great home for us, so we appreciate the opportunity.
We hope to sell 15 to 20,000 tons of steel out of this particular site, to give you some sort of idea of what our ultimate goal. And then, not to mention that Mill Steel's been around for 54 years?
59 years, actually.
59, sorry.
59 years. And on top of that, today we do a little bit north of 50,000 tons a month. So on a percentage basis, in terms of our growth, the 15 to 20,000 tons of new capacity being added to this location is going to be substantial for Mill Steel to make a success out of it.
Vicki, what's the resolution number?
7.
I make a motion to pass 2014 R7.
Second.
Got a lot of seconds here.
Next.
Third and fourth.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Thank you, gentlemen.
Great.
Thank you
Thank
much.
you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For your time.
Sponsor.
Rob, thank you very much for all your support.
There you go.
Okay,
$1,000.
I guess, Rob, you're back up since Kelly's not standing there.
Yes.
Brinley Hardy, personal
Yeah.
tax abatement,
So
real
we
estate.
actually have another company that's looking to expand. They're located there in Jeffersonville Industrial Park, Brinley Hardy. So I'd like to call up Kathleen with One Southern Indiana and JC with Brinley Hardy.
Good afternoon, I'm Kathleen Crawley, One Southern Indiana, Senior Director for Business Retention and Expansion. And with me I have J.C. Wilkinson, CFO for Brinley Hardy. Thank you for letting us be here this afternoon. Brinley Hardy is a 175-year-old company, just celebrating that this year. And I'm bringing to you today a project that will allow them for 30% additional growth at their facility in Jeffersonville. The new positions that they're adding are well above the county average. We are retaining 94 positions with annual payroll represented at $3,650,000. We'll be adding an addition of 44 positions at $2.1 million of new annual payroll. We are requesting today a 10-year tax abatement for real property at $1.5 million, as well as a 5-year tax abatement for personal property for $3,025,000. The state of Indiana is also putting together a package for support for this, and part of their package includes training. This company is heavy in lean training as well as Six Sigma, so we have great employees there with tremendous skill sets there, and this has been an ongoing training that they've been doing for years now. J.C., would you like to talk about your project?
Absolutely. First, I want to thank everyone for their time. As Kathleen said, this is our 175th year in business. We were welcomed to Jeffersonville in 2000. We started our roots in Kentucky, in Louisville, but with a little slugger expansion, we were up for a new facility, and so we migrated over to Jeffersonville and been extremely happy ever since. And so we've been blessed with tremendous opportunities over those 175 years, and we've been blessed with another opportunity here to continue to grow and diversify our product line. And so this is our next step, our next generation. It allows us to add that capital improvement to our existing facility and invest in the people and continue our lean journey, because we absolutely have benefited tremendously by the amount of dollars and training we put into our people and our processes.
We respectfully request consideration for tax abatement today. 8.
I'll make a motion to pass 2014 R8.
Second. Any other discussion?
Just again, as with Mill Steel, we're very excited. I think when we hear about companies who want to grow and do more in Jeffersonville, it's always a good thing, and we appreciate your investment.
I just have a quick question also. I'm wondering, what do you make here in Indiana? What are you expanding into, or?
I am bound by a non-disclosure agreement, but we currently make lawn, tractor, outdoor power equipment, both for the consumer and commercial segments. That's our primary product line today.
Thanks. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you all very much.
Glad you're staying in our community.
Well, we'd like to have a tour of Brinkley Hardy. Let me know, and I'll be more than happy to get set up through J.C.
Absolutely.
So,
That'd be great.
I know I'd be
Thanks.
interested. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, last we've got an ordinance changing zoning map designation of a certain tract of property at 225 East Riverside Drive and fully described in attached Exhibit A.
This is a rezoning matter that comes before the city council upon a favorable recommendation from the planning commission. The address of the location or the property is 225 East Riverside Drive. It's actually a downzoning from M1 to R3. The petitioner is Patricia Lewis, and I believe Ms. Lewis is here, correct? And if you want to just come up and explain to them your proposal for the property.
Hi, I'm Patty Lewis, and originally the property was designated multifamily, and in order to build the types of homes that we wanted, we needed to change the zoning to individual lots, 2 lots. So that's what we're before the council to ask for your consideration.
What's the ordinance number, Vicki?
21.
Public hearing.
We'll open a public hearing. Is anyone here to speak for or against this ordinance? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Make a motion to approve 2014 OR 21.
Second.
Any other discussion?
This does come with a favorable recommendation.
Yeah, it does. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. see, Rob probably. A resolution.
Kelly.
No, it's Kelly now. All right, you're switching gears. A resolution of the Common Council renewing and extending the terms of the urban enterprise zone.
Yes, the enterprise zone started in 2000 and is set to expire this December 31st. So I'm here to request a 5-year extension until December 31st, 2019.
Kelly, is that what it normally is 5 years?
Some of the extensions are 5, some are 10. The city council is allowed to do a 5-year extension. This is the last year they're allowing that. I think they did away with that in some legislation this year. So in 2019, I think we'll have the ability to expand it again for another 5 years, but we have to do it through IEDC with the state. This process requires that we have our city council approve a resolution, and then I think IEDC has to sign off on it.
Any changes?
No changes. Everything's the same.
Motion to approve 2014 R9.
Any other discussion? I have a couple questions. If we don't pass this, what happens?
The UEZ expires.
Okay, and what does that mean as far as for taxpayers?
As
or
far as tax
downtown?
benefits, the companies that take advantage of the UEZ tax credits, those would no longer be available to them, those tax benefits.
Is there property taxes that are in the UEZ? Those are paid to where?
The taxes are paid to the state, or the county. So right now, basically, those tax benefits allow the businesses, if they make improvements to their property, they can realize 100% savings of the increase of the assessed value of their property. So right now, they keep 50% of that savings. They pay 49% to the Urban Enterprise Association, and they pay 1% to the state. And then the Urban Enterprise Association reinvests that money within the UEZ, or to benefit the UEZ.
So it's kind of like a
currently.
TIF
It's
that's
very
captured
similar.
and then the UEZ controls.
Yes,
And then those taxes have to be used within the UEZ?
yes.
Does the city get the base before the UEZ was established? Is it just like that as a TIF?
No, it's not before the UEZ was established. It's based on when the improvements were made to the property and when the property owner filed for the benefits. But yeah, the base year is different than the TIF.
I don't know. I'm just kind of curious how much of, do you know what the tax base is there, the property tax base is within the UEZ? And then what qualifications are necessary in order to qualify for UEZ?
In order to qualify for the UEZ, the business has to be located in the zone. And then there are 4 different tax benefits that are available. One is that if you have employees who both live and work in the zone, the company can file to receive up to a $1,200 tax deduction. It's based on how much the employee is paid and how much their salary has been increased since they started with the company. So I don't have a way to determine that. The county tells me what it is each year. So if the company files it, they get it. If they don't, they don't get it. Then one of the other main benefit that companies take advantage of is, like I said, the improvements that are made to the property that increase the assessed value. There's another benefit that is to residents. If the resident lives and works in the zone, they can get up to a $7,500 tax deduction on their personal income taxes each year.
I guess the reason I'm asking some questions is because I know that there's benefits to people who invest in the UEZ, but a lot of the UEZ now is in the downtown area that's kind of starting to grow, and I wonder at what point is it to the benefit of the taxpayers of Jeffersonville or to Jefferson as a whole to go ahead and let that expire and for that base to come back to the general tax levy. And we may not be there yet, but I didn't know this was coming. I wasn't really prepared to kind of understand all the numbers and kind of try to figure out the benefits. But if we pass this, it's for 5 years, and then after that, you have to do it again?
Right.
Have they set it so that there is a sunset, or there is no sunset?
The sunset's 2025 for all enterprise zones in the state.
So it's going to have to be sunset anyway.
Kelly, isn't there 2 other incentives for businesses? Isn't one like an inventory tax?
The inventory tax was done away with
Was it?
at least 5 years
And
ago,
there
I
used to
think.
be a training,
And that no longer exists either.
because I knew there was...
There's one other benefit for the business, that's the investment cost credit, and that's based on, I honestly don't know all the ins and outs of it. It's never been used in Jeffersonville, and it's been used like 2 times that I know of across the rest of the state. IEDC you have to go to IEDC, the business has to go to them before the investment is made and prove that the only way the investment will be made is if they get this tax benefit. And it's very difficult to prove, so it's rarely used.
There have been, if you notice, just to point out a few projects. First, the UEZ does put money into Main Street. We work in conjunction with Main Street, and a lot of the facade grants and stuff that goes through Main Street, a lot of the money comes from the zone. The new park at Eastern or 19th Street and Spring Street, that little area is, UEZ has funded that project. So the Urban Enterprise Zone funds a lot of projects. Also, if you have a neighborhood association and you live in the zone, you get $4,000 a year to use towards, in a particular case, we have one of the newer, the Port Fulton Landing Neighborhood Association. Okay, we're buying the banners that hang up on the poles that will indicate the parameters of our neighborhood group. So them banners will run, depending on how many you have, but that's going to run up to $4,000 for the banners and the brackets and hardware. So a lot of that money is used in the zone, and you see it, a lot of projects that go on, you will see it used in the zone.
Yeah.
It's just, you see a project going on, but you really don't know what's being paid for. Now, we did several years ago agree to have a little plaque or something that will talk about the UEZ. So if we sponsor a project, the Urban Enterprise Zone will get recognized. Adrian does their Italian Fest every year. Well, we're a sponsor of that. So when you see their banners, it will say Urban Enterprise Zone. So any of them projects now that you're starting to see that the zone funds or partially funds will get recognized by some type of little plaque or something on it. So.
Does the UEZ have any property or anything you all maintain downtown? Isn't there a
Yes.
parking lot?
We
What
own the
all do-
parking lot that the skating rink is in, and we lease the parking lot at the corner of Chestnut and Spring. So the tax incentives they're a big benefit to small businesses, and sometimes, there are businesses that want to make investments in their personal property or improvements to the business, and sometimes they're hesitant to do that because they know it will increase their taxes. So this is an incentive to help them, push them along with that.
Kelly, how much flows through, the revenue flows through, or tax dollars flows through?
It really varies every year. This year, we're expecting about $350,000, which has been what we've received the last couple years. But it's all based on whether or not the business files their paperwork. So hopefully that will increase in the next couple of years too. We have a few new businesses that have come in and made investments recently, and I've spoken with them about the tax benefits, but they don't realize the benefits for a year or two out. So.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to pass 2014 R-9.
I think we had it. We
Yeah,
had
we had a
a
motion
motion.
and a second. Yeah, we were just-
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thanks, Kelly. Okay. Kelly, letter from Clark County Assessor requesting to overwrite of time requirements for JDC veneers.
JDC Veneers received, I believe it was 2006, City Council approved a tax abatement for personal property. They're located at America Place. They, last year, had some change in personnel right when the tax abatement documentation was due, and I think it just got lost in the shuffle, so they did not complete the paperwork last year. They completed it this year, so the county brought it to my attention that they would have to go back and get approval from City Council to be allowed to file for last year to continue their tax abatement. As it is now, their tax abatement, the last year for it will be 2017, pay 2018. If we approve this paperwork to overwrite the timeline requirement and allow them to file this year. If this isn't approved and we don't allow them to file last year's paperwork late, which would be now, then their taxes will be raised for last year and this year. The county made a mistake last year and gave them the abatement, so they would be reassessed for last year as well as this year and have to pay both. So I'm requesting that we overwrite the timeline for 2012 pay 2013 taxes and allow them to file that paperwork this year along with their 2013 pay 2014 tax abatement.
Do you know what their total abatement was? I'm sorry.
No, I do not have that.
Ballpark guesstimate?
How far into it are they, Kelly?
They, let's see, if they have until 2017, that means they started in 2007,
10-year-old,
so,
Halfway through.
yeah, 7
Halfway through.
years.
And they just lost the paperwork, is that what you're saying?
It was
Or
just lost in the shuffle. I know this happened with a couple companies last year, and we've gotten a lot of them straightened out, but there's some confusion about which documents have to be filed and with who. Some companies were sending paperwork to the city and not to the county in the past, and some to the county and not to the city. So last year, we tried to get everybody on board, but JDC was missed, so.
Who in the county building brought this to our attention?
The assessor's office is, the personal property all goes through the assessor's office.
That's what I thought. What does this need, a motion to approve the letter? I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you all.
Amy, an ordinance transferring certain funds within the same department.
We've done a lot in a half hour.
Yes, this is an ordinance. All these items are in the budget. We just need to shift them around to different series. It's pretty straightforward. I can go into more explanation if you would like.
This isn't, it's just a transfer.
Right.
And it is number,
22?
motion to approve 2014 OR 22 on the first reading.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Thanks, Amy. City Council Attorney report. Was there any public comment? No. Council comments, Mr. Smith?
No, just, I think Ed asked a lot of good questions about the UEZ, and until I was part of it, I really didn't realize what all they're involved in. But you know the signs you're starting to see pop up, the Wayfind signage that you see around town, that was part of the UEZ. The zone, that was well over $100,000. UEZ does get involved in matching for trees. We've gotten involved in some trees. We're also going to be involved in the park, maybe some benches and some bicycle racks and a lot of different things. I think Shane Corbin brings a lot of things to the zone. On our bicycle area, there's going to be some areas where you can repair your bicycle. I've never seen one, but there's going to be a lot of them projects that you see throughout the city, but we have to maintain most of it, of course, in the zone itself. But you'll see a lot of that throughout when you go around. But a lot of that you don't know it's through the UEZ, because unless you're part of it, you don't hear about it. So it's not a lot of money, but we do help a lot of small businesses get started. We do help facade stuff. We've been very instrumental in America Place, doing some of their nicety stuff, some facades, some paving of parking areas, and so it does help a lot. But it's, unless you know it, it's UEZ, you don't know it. So I just wanted to point it out. So it is a good, for the amount of money we get, it goes very far, and we're very frugal with the money. That's all I want to say.
Just related to the questions I was asking, I think, TIFs and the UEZ are great financial tools that benefit our community, but at some point, the real benefit comes back to when these areas come back to the tax rolls and benefit the county and the city and, as a whole. So that's what my questions were related to. Is eventually, these come back to our tax rolls, and I think that's a benefit to everybody. So we should use the tools wisely and try to grow the tax base, and I think we're doing that. Thanks.
No comment.
No comment.
I just wanted to remind everybody tonight that the Jeff Hyde Theater is presenting down at Derby Dinner, the Smoky Joe's, that the doors open at 5:30, dinner is at 6, and the show is at 7:15. And just remind everybody, the tickets are at the door under City Council. And another thing I want to bring is Les. I know we brought it up several times. I know, business licensing, because I noticed some more things popping up on 10th Street, a lot of cars parked out. Can we kind of like maybe set up a meeting or set up discussions or something?
Shane and I have something drafted.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Glover?
Nothing.
Mr. Payne? Or Mr. Owen, I'm sorry.
I was hoping they would stay, but just wanted to publicly thank Wendy Chesser and Matt Hall and Kathleen from One Southern Indiana, because they put a lot of effort into the businesses that come before us to make sure those investments happen in Jeffersonville. And they deserve a lot of credit for what we've got going on. And Lisa reminded us about our engagement tonight. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I kind of like the afternoon meetings. I don't know if maybe anybody would consider, if it's not too much of a conflict, doing maybe every other meeting in the afternoon like this.
My only thought is that the public has to work, and if they can't get here during the day, that's my
Yeah.
only thing.
And I think that's why we should definitely keep one meeting a month in the evening. But we could do one time and one the other. I'm sure the staff probably enjoy
I guess we have to keep the
having it during the day.
controversial issues on Mondays for the public.
Those would be the long ones. We might want to do just the opposite, Connie.
You know, if we're thinking about doing afternoon meetings from time to time, this goes back a little ways, but we did a meeting or two at schools, like at River Valley or Jeff High. And I'm sure the government classes, or, the teachers or students might be interested in.
Good idea.
We could do it at their stage or in the auditorium somewhere.
That is a good idea.
And at least expose what's going on with city government to more people and to the students.
It's a great idea.
When does New Albany, when does their council meetings? Isn't it like at 3?
Wednesdays, though, isn't it?
Is it, don't they do theirs like at 3 or 4 in the afternoon?
No, I think it's in the evening.
Or is it in the evening?
I think it is, too. But it seems like it's on a Wednesday.
It's on Wednesdays about 6 o'clock.
Well, we don't have to decide anything right now, but I think it's a good idea. And allows the staff to have more flexibility to be here to answer questions if we need questions answered. And actually, Kelly mentioned on our way in that it is actually more convenient for like the businesses to come in if it's during the day, during business hours. So something to think about. That's all I have.
Two things. One question for Les, a reminder about the homeless task force next meeting.
I was going to do a written report and then present it to you all, which are all next week.
Thank you. Can we get that on the agenda, Vicki, please? And then the second thing is kind of to follow with the UEZ, but I was going to announce tomorrow we have an Jeff Public Art Commission meeting. Even though the city's closed, we're having it. City building will be open up in planning and zoning, and we're selecting benches and bike racks for downtown, which is going to be funded most entirely by UEZ, and whatever they don't cover, redevelopment is supposed to cover. So that's a great thing. But that's tomorrow.
What time is it, Nathan?
4:30.
Yes, somebody noticed that, Matt, in the doors. Sorry.
I got the finger. So, yes, that's all.
I've got a couple of things. Les, I know that the lawsuit with Palmer was settled.
Yes.
Where'd that come at? I haven't seen a claim or...
I'll double check, but it's supposed to come out of insurance.
Okay. Because I hadn't seen anything labeled that or...
I will go back, I know we settled it.
Yeah, I knew you did.
This question is whether or not it's been paid.
Okay.
I haven't seen a claim.
Okay.
Claims.
I'll double check.
All right. The other thing, Scott, have you talked to the Fire Merit Board about the current list, hiring off the current list?
I passed on word, so speaking to the attorney, I speak with the board members as a representative.
Yeah.
So I passed on our recommendation.
Okay. All right.
What was our recommendation?
To hire off of to take consideration, to have them consider
Right.
the current list.
Current list.
Before it's
If they have
It's a
their
recommendation.
CPAD or qualifications, correct?
Right, right.
When did we make that recommendation?
At the last meeting, we
I remember approving giving the chief the approval to go ahead and hire, but I don't remember a recommendation of,
I think Nathan brought it up.
okay.
Yeah. The other thing that I brought up a few meetings back, and it kind of goes to what Ed was talking about, on all these tax abatements and tax deductions and so forth, I recommended, and I would really like your all's approval, to search somebody out, to have somebody come in and talk to us about the long-term repercussions of tax abatements and the different tools that we may have to use. I know it's more of a redevelopment issue, but I think we need to know the long-term effects of the tax abatements. And is there anything else that municipalities are doing right now in their toolbox other than tax abatements? And maybe search somebody out to come in and talk to us about that.
Well, if I can make a comment about that, at least about tax abatements. Tax abatements are not a redevelopment function. They don't have to go to redevelopment at all. When we start doing the tax abatements, my memory is that we needed somebody to be the front person to be able to fill out the forms, explain everything, and work with the businesses, and that was Phil McCauley.
Right.
So Phil McCauley was the redevelopment director at the time, real good with numbers. So we had him be the guy for tax abatements and the contact with the companies. But to my knowledge, there's no state statute or ordinance
That it has to
that
go
has to go through. Just out of tradition, we've allowed it to go through redevelopment. Somebody needs to be the front.
Yeah. Oh, I don't disagree.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
But all the other tools, yeah, the UEZ and TIF, that's redevelopment, but anyway, just wanted to say that.
Yeah, okay. But I think I may try and sort somebody out that might be able to come in and talk to us about, maybe in a workshop.
You know, tax abatements, it's always been good and it's always worked, but getting to your point is there anything out there that other communities, progressive communities are doing nowadays that maybe would take the place of a tax abatement?
That's my
Maybe
point.
be part, instead of a 10-year fine, I mean, I don't know what's out there, but it would be interesting to look at another community, another state that is progressive in landing these types of jobs.
Right.
What's out there.
Well, and I think the environment has changed a little bit. Is everybody having to give tax abatements to get people in? I don't know. You know, we need to kind of, well, we do. We need to, that's a lot of money. So, anyway,
Do we as a board need to move towards allowing you or several people to research this and come up with a plan?
We could do it through the finance committee, actually.
Okay.
I think we could.
I'd like to
So-
find out if what we're doing is everything we need to do, or are we doing too much? I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Well, I would like to note that we are better at getting jobs in Michigan, Illinois, Ohio.
We're the fastest growing state in the Midwest.
One of the reasons they come here is because of this, they can get the tax abatement. So,
Right.
Well, but you know, Connie, maybe it's not 10%, maybe it's 8, maybe it's, you know, or years. I mean, maybe it's, I don't know. I just think maybe we need to.
I'm just saying, they will come in, the state allows them to come for so many years, they're gonna look at getting the majority of that. And if
Sure.
you don't offer it in another state, which won't be those surrounding us, it will be a state farther away, they will go to that state,
Yeah.
because they're gonna save money.
Agreed.
Well, I just think it's something that we look at, and maybe there's some other incentive that can be offered to offset that. It's the only point. We might look at that through the finance committee. Only last thing that I have, it keeps coming up with our finance committee meetings, that we keep hearing from a few departments that their training budgets are cut, and it's mainly fire and police, and their budgets have never been cut. And we keep hearing this over and over again. The finance committee is not trying to micromanage any department's training. We're not trying to micromanage who they train, where they go, or anything else. They have a budget. The only thing that we're asking is that they live within their budget. And I just think that That needs to be transparent. That needs to be out in the open. We want our fire and police, we want our safety issues to be trained as well as possible. The only thing is, we ask every department to live within their budget, whether it be training or whatever line item that they're looking at. So I just wanted to bring that
The
up.
point to make too is the finance committee you can't cut a budget anyway.
We can't,
All you can do is come up with a consensus or not.
and bring it to the
And
council.
bring it to the council. So if any budget is cut, changed, modified, whatever the case may be, it has to come before the full board. All you do is gather information and then you all dissect it and sometimes bring it to us as a consensus. Because I know when I was on years ago with Nathan and Ron Bruno, a lot of times we wouldn't have a consensus, but that's all we.
All we can do is make a recommendation.
But anything,
That's it.
anything that's done to the finances of the city has to be done by the full board.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's a little confusing.
But I just wanted to throw that out because we keep hearing that we've cut training budget and we have not. So, anyway, any other discussion?